Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Oh, wow. What a surprise guest we have. Judah David. You guys remember him? He's the official Baal Menagin of MDY. Wow, it's been a while. He made a chassan, his daughter got married, and then he dropped off the face of the earth. But that was what, a month ago? Well, Yishkoyach, it's great to see you, Judah. Today's shir is being sponsored for the complete refuah shlema of Nisan Tzvi ben Penina, and the continued atzlacha for him and the entire family. Sponsored by Dr. Mark Berkson to his wife Varda Penina. I don't know what happened. Like, we had a streak going. People were sponsoring, we covered their wives, and that's it. People gave up. Now listen to this. This is from Dr. Mark Berkson from Bergenfield, New Jersey, sponsoring Lukovet, his wife. I'm sponsoring Friday's Daf in honor of my incredible wife, Varda Penina. Without her, I would not be the person I am today. I think that goes for everybody. It could be bad, it could be good. Fine. Oh, wow. Dr. Allen, it looks like you're in the Beis Medrash. Shalom Aleichem. Are you by yourself? See, some people come from Toronto, like Dr. Allen. They need to go to the Beis Medrash, whether there's people there or not. They need to be in the Beis Medrash. Amazing. All right, she has blessed me with 3 wonderful kids. She truly runs the show in our house while teaching full-time at Yavin Academy in Paramus. I've been fortunate not to have missed the daf. Unreal. Rabbi said this is unreal. I've been fortunate not to have missed the daf. I don't have I have to. I can't miss, but you guys could, and people that don't miss dafim are very inspiring. I watch every day on Torah anytime, and watch live Sunday morning, 12:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to thank you for making the daf such an incredible joy to learn. I'm sponsoring this daf specifically because it mentions chiropractic right at the end. No spinal alignment on the Shabbos. The prohibition against building is true. I don't know if we'll get there today. We will try. Being a chiropractor, it's more important than ever for people to get adjusted to help enhance immune function. You hear this, Rabbi Sai? Go to Dr. Mark Berkson in Bergenfield. We'd love to make aliyah. Maybe I could be the official MDY chiropractor. No, we don't have one yet. All in the right time. Thanks again to you and the crew for making the daf such a wonderful experience for me. Dr. Mark Berkson, Bergenfield, New Jersey. Yishkoyach, Dr. Mark. One very interesting, I got this.
We have a chiropractor.
Who?
Brim.
Who?
Dr. Brim. He comes on in the 215 chair. Devora, it says Devora Brim.
Ah, Dr. Brim. Okay, fine. But whoever makes it to Israel first wins.
He lives in Israel.
I didn't know that. Where does he live? Bet Shemesh? Don't tell me he's like my next door neighbor now. You know, like he's my best friend. Terrible with names. All right, Dr. Brim. Okay. Hi, Rebelli. One of the benefits of living in Australia. Simon, who's your buddy, the Chazan? I forgot his name. He lives in Australia. Fast finishes early, so he just finished Tisha B'Av. Listen to this. He's the official Chazan in Melbourne, in this kehillah over there, and he had to go to the shul with 1,200 empty seats. He sat there by himself on the floor. He sends me a video of it. And I remember when Corona first hit, you sang Gurachim so beautifully. Thanks for the yeah, sure. Asking Hashem to have Rachmanis. And so last night after Eicha, I remembered that and spontaneously sat down and sang that same song. And immediately went into our kilo, which stayed lockdown. They're all in lockdown over there. So B'Kitzer, on your amazing Daf Yomi club, and I'm proud to be part of, and Klal Yisrael, here's the song. I got to show you this song. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. This guy has an incredible voice. You got the idea. He looks like a pretty yeshivish guy. Simon, your buddy?
Yeah, he's a great guy. And he's got a beautiful voice, as does his father. His father's in Sydney.
What's his name again?
Farkash.
Oh, that's right, Farkash. Okay, Shkoyach. Yeah, I believe they're hosting. He's hosting in Australia. One of the 3 people in Australia. All right, beautiful. Rabbi, whoever wasn't here last night, the feeling of Achdus. We look at the screen because people are talking about Shalom, Tisha B'Av, Shalom, the Beis Hamikdash. I think we are starting that process right here, MDY. Where else in the world? You have Hasidim and Misnagdim, and you have we just found out last night that a Lubavitcher is related to a Litvak, a Welcher is related to Mendel Mitz. Bekitzer, the Achdus, Hasidim and Misnagdim, the Charedim and the modern Orthodox. One place, everybody's friendly with each other. We're starting it right here. One at a time, Rabbi said, one at a time. All right. And also another incredible thing, the fact that it's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi. Last night we had 94 people on YouTube and 80 something on Zoom, which is usually the reverse. Zoom is usually higher. I don't know what happened. But Matzi Tisha B'Av, who wants to learn Torah? It's after a fast. Give me a break. No. Close to 200 people. Live. Zok Gemara. We're holding the last words on Daf Kuf Mem Vav Amud Beis. Very rare that on a Friday morning we'll be holding where we need to be holding, but then again, very rare do we have a shir at night that could go forever. Omar Rav Huna. Hamenar. We're Daf Kuf Mem Zayin. You know what that means? The end of the Masechta is Daf Kuf Nun Zayin. So we're 11 days away from the end of Masechta Shabbos. Unbelievable. Hamenar Taliza b'Shabbos Chayav Chatos. So we discussed this halacha. If you shake off your garment on Shabbos, you chayav chatas. In other words, if you clean your clothing in the typical way it's supposed to be cleaned, if cleaning it is shaking it, cleaning is flicking it, or sometimes cleaning it is with water. So it all depends on what you have and what the situation is and what people typically do. When we had the mud, a flick is not going to clean mud. So you're not chayav chatas. Over there, it has to be with water. If it's some dust, a flick might work. That's all you need. Usually don't throw your suit under a faucet when there's a little dust. You go like this and you're good. So that you'd be chayav chatas for. V'lo Amaran says the Gemara, Elabachati has to be brand new avabatiki leslamba. What exactly is new and what is old? Machlokes in the Rishonim a few times, one time. So how does it apply to us? It applies very much. Why? And it has to be black. If it's white or red, you're wearing a red suit. We discussed red suits and who wears red suits and why people wear red suits. When you feel uncomfortable, you feel you don't belong in that country. You're a minority. You start wearing funny clothing. The Jews and other people, they like to wear interesting stuff. So if it's red, there's no problem of cleaning. Now, but the bottom line is, it all goes in your mind. So if you have red, if you have a red suit, but you like it no dust at all, and you keep on going like this all day long, then for you it's Issa Deraisa. So again, it's not important if it's brand new, if it was washed 5 times, and does cleaner include, is that considered a wash? If you have it for 3 years, but it's in perfect shape, you only wear it on Shabbos. If you're makbid, and most of us are to have, nobody likes dust on their suit, and you start flicking it, that could be, according to Rashi, Isser Dairaisa. V'hu the kapid alayu. And you need to be makbid. What does that mean, makbid? Explains Rashi. Makbid means as long as you refuse to wear it if it's dirty. You're not going to go to shul when you have a bunch of dust on your suit. That's makbid. And if you're makbid, then you're over. Says the Gemara, Ula ikla b'pudisa. Ula was in Pumpadisa. Chazar Rabbanu to come in Napsi Glimayu. He sees these Talmid Chachamim flicking and cleaning. Omar Kamuchalim Rabbanan Shapso. They were shaking their clothing, whatever they were doing. He says, look at these Mechali Shabbos people. Omar Rav Yehuda. So Rav Yehuda tells his Talmidim, don't listen to him. Nafutzi le ba'pei. Do it right in front of his face. Anan loikab dinamidi. We're from Nevada. We don't care about dust on our stuff, so we have no problem. I mean, it's a little bit of a problem if they don't care. So why were they doing it? It's like sounds almost okay. So the same question we'll have in a second. Abaya have a koyik hamed Rav Yosef. Abaya was in front of his Rebbe Rav Yosef. Omalei havli kumtai. Give me my hat. So he noticed, Abaye sees that there's a bunch of dew on it. It was sitting outside, a lot of dew. Now he has a big dilemma. He what's the word? No, okay, blank again. Fine. He tried to block it. Block. Okay, block is a good word. He blocked giving him the hat. So basically, he had a dilemma. Do I give him the hat with all the dew on it? That's not nice. You don't give a Rebbe hat. Do I take off the dew? That's cleaning. So what do I do? Amalei, in the fight today, you could clean it off. I don't care at all. So I don't care at all. So why clean it? Okay. So it's one of these things. Like you want to clean, but you're not meaning. I will wear it. Some people say maybe in the weekday he wore it like that. On Shabbos he's a little bit more makbid, but I can wear it no problem with the dew, with the stain, with all this stuff, like with Ula. You want to clean it? They want to clean it? Fine, but it's not important. It wasn't like I can't walk outside like this. Nu alacha. So Taisus explains that we just finished the sugya or the Mishnah. A guy was in the water. His talis fell off in the water. Now, if you weren't here last night, so you missed the good story about a jet ski. But I see that my Yosef Erman is here, and he wasn't here last night. There's a bunch of people. I'll tell you the story real quickly anyway. Why not? I was on a jet ski by myself. I used to love going out in Chicago by myself. And Eli Dykman is here. So I don't know if he ever heard the story. Maybe I said it after Shir once. And I look around, and there's no one in sight on the water. So I decided, why not go to the mikvah? So I jump into the water. Now, you could just undo your bathing suit a little bit. I said, nobody's here. So let me take off so I take off my bathing suit and put it on top of my jet ski. And I start toiveling. And all of a sudden, a giant wave comes, knocks my jet ski and my bathing suit into the water. And immediately, I had this crazy movie going through my mind. I am now driving my jet ski without a bathing suit back to the shore. People are saying, what is going on? The police are going to arrest me. I have nothing to cover myself. Zero. What do I do? In the panic, I go under the jet ski and I had to go around the jet ski. And this is what I found my bathing. Baruch Hashem. But it happens once in a while that your clothing falls off into water. How exactly? I'm explaining to you how it's possible. So based on this, so the guy takes his clothing, says Taisus, his clothes fell into the water. So now he's not going to wear it, it's wet. So he puts it on his shoulder. That's the continuation, says Taisus. That's why this sugya fits in here. Chayav chatos. So the way it works, we're talking about a guy who wears it, but he puts it basically behind him. He's putting it behind his shoulder. He kind of wears it, but not. So imagine a talus like we have, the same size, the same thing, but it's on his shoulder and it's backwards. He's not dressed in it. So he's chayav chatos. Why? Again, anything that's not the derech to go out like that, that's chayav chatos. We're going to see that the Gemara says even the way the Ashkenazim wear the talisim, or I should say the Litvaks wear the talisim, one on one shoulder. There's two types. The Rebbes and a lot of Hasidim, they wear it like over themselves, like they don't even put it on their shoulder. But the Gemara discusses shoulder not good. So how do we go out like that? Because it became the derech. People who sell the clothing on the way, if they throw it backwards, chayavim chatos. We're not even dealing with the clothing dealers. Any person who does that and throws it behind him, he's chayav chatos. But that's how we're just talking about the dealers because they're famous for that. Once we're talking about people that are famous for things, and also we're talking about carrying. So if this guy walks out with money in his linen, chayav chatos. So I looked up in the Mishabura, the Ramah talks about it. So we're not over so much on muktzah over here because he has to save it here, whatever the reason is. There's different reasons. We're talking about tiltul. carry. So there's not a problem with carrying. Well, here's the problem with carrying because that's not the way to do it. You don't carry your money in linen, you put it in a wallet or whatever it is. So that's why you chayav chatas. If it's not the derech to carry, chayav chatas. All people. So once again, you have the same idea. Since it's the typical for a chemveni to put his money in some sort of, linen. Okay, so they said chemveni, but it's not dafka chemveni. It means every person. The people from Ratin they do put it backwards like that. Now, sudar is not a talis. Sudar over here we're talking about like a scarf. Put it like the kubalim scarf around the head. So they would throw it backwards. V'lo ratanim b'vad. According to Taisus, ratanim are runners, but we're going according to Rashi all the time. So ratanim is a place. Ela kol adam el shedargam shel ratanim latzis b'kach. So if you have a scarf and you throw it back, you're okay because that's how the people in Ratan do it. Omer Rabbi Yehuda, Maisa b'hurkunos b'noi yisher v'lez ben hurkunos. Rabbi say this is 10,000 points. Where do we have hurkunos in our Masechta? Give you 2 seconds. One of the most famous stories in our Masechta, which they say that we're holding smack in the middle of the Amud. Somewhere like that. They say it's Rebbe Akiva that worked for Rebbe Eliezer. I see Aaron Shields, the genius. He's a relative of mine. He is a genius. He knew right away it's Rebbe Akiva. Rebbe Akiva worked for Rebbe Eliezer ben Hurkanus. He worked for, and then he didn't get paid, and he said, and he walked away. B'pachi nefesh, the Gemara says about Rebbe Akiva. So that was Hurkanus. Maisa b'Hurkanus, b'noish Rebbe Eliezer ben Hurkanus. And if you remember the story, it's very interesting. If you remember the story, he came to pay him back, and Rebbe Eliezer ben Hurkanus tells Rebbe Akiva, so what did you think when I told you I don't have food, I don't have anything, I don't have money, I don't have animals, I don't have trees? Didn't you want to kill me? He says, no, I thought this happened to this, and then and finally he says, I thought maybe you were magdish everything. And he says, Elohim, I think it was that lashon. Yes, I made a shvu, I'm not going to give anything to my son Hurkanus. Why? Because he doesn't learn Torah. And here he is, here's Hurkanus. Maisa b'Hurkanus b'noish Rebbe Eliezer ben Hurkanus. Here's Hurkanus, the one that his father was upset at him for not learning Torah and zneider everything away. And because of that, Rebbe Akiva suffered from Yom Kippur to Sukkot. It was Sheyatza b'Suda shal Kseifa b'Shabbos. Elo shenima kruchalei betzboi. So here's Hurkanus. Here's the scarf, and he has a string running down the front, the center picture. Why does he have this string? So that if it falls off, he'll catch it. You don't need the string. You're permitted to walk like that. You don't have to tie it with a string, even though it's kind of flimsy and the scarf might fly off. You don't have to worry about it. Ula ikla lebei asi barhini. Bo minei maulasis marze b'Shabbos. So he came there and they asked Ula, could you make a gutter? Again, if you weren't here last night, it's too bad. In New York, it's called a gutter. Is your head in the gutter? Right? What's a gutter? A gutter is a street. What are you? You're verschmutzt. Your head is in the gutter. I don't know if anywhere else in the world a street is called a gutter, and I don't know if anywhere else in the world besides Italy they drop the but that's how it is. So the shaila is, could you make a gutter? Also, last is marza b'Shabbos. My marza, what's this gutter? Who's making gutters? It's not for your house. Omer Abzero. Kisei Bavli also. So according to Rashi, it's this guy right over here. You have like a long rekel. Chassidim know what I'm talking about when they have to fold it up behind them. So that's a temporary. But over here, this red V, you take the bottom of your jacket, you fold it upwards, and you sew it in there. Now exactly what's going on, who would have a havamina, you could sew it on Shabbos. I'm not exactly sure what the big shaila here is. I think everybody knows that it's asur, so maybe the shaila is a little different. According to Tosfos, he brings this shita that he throws it around on his shoulder, and it folds up like a gutter. It gives a little bit of a V on your shoulder. So there's no sewing involved here, and there's no anything, so that makes a little bit more sense, l'chayra. But Rashi says that you tie it with strings. Rabbi Yirmiyahu Yosef Kamid Reb Zeiro Omalei Hachimai. So this Gemara, again, I'm not exactly sure what you gain from this Gemara, because the Gemara is not very elaborate. The Gemara doesn't say anything. The Gemara says, Hachimai, how about this? Omalei Aser, that's Aser. V'Hachimai, and what about this? Omalei Aser. So for us, generations later, what is Hachi, what is Hachi? What are the two questions they asked him? Both of them are Aser. Omer of Papa, Nekoita Klala B'Yadach. Remember this. Kol adaita delachanufei asur. If you're there to do it forever, it's supposed to remain in a certain way. Asur. Kol delisnoi shari. But if you did it to make it look good, and it's a temporary thing, that's okay. Ki ha the Rav Shisho berei the Rav Idi misna bezdinoi hava. So Rashi says in the weekday he used to do this. He folded it up nicely on a shawl, whatever it was. That is misna, and a memela, it's mutter. He did it in the weekday, like nice, and you could do it on Shabbos. Once upon a time, Rebbe went out to the field. Oh, this is how the Litvaks wear the talesim. A lot of people wear the talesim today. One on the right shoulder and the other on the left shoulder. And this is exactly the case of the Gemara. You have a big talis. He wraps his body in it, one side on the right, one on the left. Omar Lefanav, Yeshua ben Zeruz, ben Chomev, Sharib Meir, the son, in other words, the brother-in-law of Rebbe Meir. Bizarre, it could be the brother-in-law, it could be just, he had a son that's not his actual brother-in-law, maybe a son from a different, okay, whatever it is. Bezu lechiv Meir chatos. Didn't my brother-in-law say that Yechayev chatos? Amar lei diktik Rebbe Meir atkan. What? This also to put on your shoulders is that much of a problem? It's not. We were talking about when you throw it behind your back, your entire talus is hanging, and that's not the derech. But this nicely on the shoulder, what's the big deal? Says Gemara, nevertheless, shilshul Rebbe talisoy. Rebbe undid it, like the Hasidim. He went all the way down, put a little bit in the gartel, the tzitzis go in the gartel, and then the rest just drapes everywhere. Ki yasa Ravin Omar, lo Yeshua ben Zeruz hava, this wasn't a story with Yeshua ben Zeruz, elo Yeshua ben Kapoisayaya, chasson Yeshua Rebbe Akiva, son-in-law of Rebbe Akiva. Omar bezulei chiv Rebbe Akiva chatos. Well, I thought Rebbe Akiva says it's also to put it on your shoulders like that. Omar loi, Dikter Rebbe Akiva kan. Rebbe Akiva didn't care that much if it's on the shoulders, the kid that's on your back. Nevertheless, Shilshul Rebbe Talisai. Same story, different people. Ki also Rav Shmuel bar Rav Yehuda Amar Nishal Itmar. That's not true. What happened was Rebbe didn't have his talis like that. Rebbe wouldn't put himself in a shaila. Did Remeir say it's also? Remeir said it's mutter. They came to ask Rebbe, and Rebbe said, "I think it's okay." And then somebody said, "What do you mean it's okay? It's similar to the case of putting it on your back." He said, you're right, fine. But he himself never did it. Says the Mishnah, if somebody goes into a hot bath in a cave, so he takes hot water from before Shabbos, puts it in a cave, the cave has a ceiling on it, he's trying to keep this water as warm as possible throughout Shabbos, which is problematic. We learned there were different stages where it was mutter, then it's aser, mutter again, people couldn't stand the gzeira, but it seems like from the Mishnah, the Gemara's medayik, haroichetz, if somebody did it without permission, but that's not the point of the Mishnah. The point of the Mishnah is schita with a towel. Ubemei tveria, which you could jump into the tveria water even though it's hot, that's mutter. Vinistapeg, and he used a towel, Afilu be'eser aluntiyos, even if one person used 10 towels. In other words, there's very, very little moisture on the towel. Lo yevim biyadai. You're not allowed to carry it on Shabbos. Now, we're not talking about carrying because it's in a chutzner, like Rashi says, it's in his, whatever it is. There's an eruv, there's not a problem with carrying. The issue is, I might wring it out. The problem of schita. Now, there's a problem that we discussed briefly, but Taisus is very busy with it throughout the Masechta, and that's shriyasai zu kibusai. So typically, to take a towel, to take any garment and soak it in water is also sleep on, it's mechabes, it's also. So why are we allowed to, for hamayitzi, wipe our hands on a towel? So that's not a problem because it's a brand new towel. The towel is not dirty, so you're not cleaning it. Or you're actually making the towel worse. It came out clean, and now with your kind of dirty hands, you're wiping the dirt. You're not cleaning the towel, you're doing the opposite of cleaning. If anything, you're ruining the towel, right? A towel that many people wipe their hands on is not a clean towel, it's disgusting, throw it away. Put it in the laundry. Says the Mishnah, Aval asor b'nei Adam. Rabbi say, what did we gain from Corona? A number of things. Number one, we gained Zoom. Now we can all learn Torah on Zoom. Even after Corona leaves, we're still going to do Zoom. The other very, very important thing that we gained is that in the Mir Yeshiva and in the Shtibel that I learned in, they got rid of those towels that go around and around and around. Those are one of the most disgusting things you could ever see. Especially when I saw with my own eyes a guy walk over it and blow his nose into it. I'm not kidding. I saw a guy do that. And then it goes around, and then the next guy takes his hand, and who uses that thing? I don't even know why. And I learned in a very American shtibel. I mean, the guy, the rabbi there is a Hasidic guy, but everybody there is American. And they have this towel that goes around and around. Who? Whatever. But Baruch Hashem, as soon as Corona hit, they got rid of that towel and they immediately installed those paper towels. Great. Says the Mishnah, if 10 people use one towel, Pneiam, their faces, oy, Yedayim v'ragleim. Rashi says this is just what typically people do. You could use your whole body, it's not a problem. Great. That's not a problem. Now, if you have a really wet towel from 10 people where you could really wring it out and there would be a problem of schita, it's not a problem. Why? Because there are 10 people there. And each one is going to remind the other one, hey, schita, don't do it. When it's an individual, even though he used 10 towels and they're hardly wet, it's a problem. But 10 people in one towel is not a problem. You could carry it. Next halacha. Sachin umemashmashin. You can get a good geshmak massage and anoint it with oil. Avaloi misamlin. You cannot do like a Russian massage. I don't even know if there's such a thing, but I'm picturing myself like a Russian giving you a massage. That's like a really rough massage. That's no good. Veloi misgarim. Oh, I have a Mizgarim is this tool right over here. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. It basically it takes off dirt. It takes off skin. It gives a geschmack, whatever it's called. So you can't do that on Shabbos. We're going to see in the Gemara problem of shchikas hamamanim. It's like healing. It's different things. Ein yarden lekurdima. Don't go into the river called Kurdima. Also, refuah veinoisim apiktvizin. We had this before. You cannot induce vomit, otherwise known as purging, and different. Noam will tell you all about it. Whoever has a seminary is probably pretty familiar with it. Not in his seminary. I'm just saying in general, like seminaries. Oh, this is. He was not happy with that. No, but there's a machal today going on. The eating disorders. You cannot shape the bones of a child. When we had this in the Masechta before, as they come out from the whole childbirth, the whole thing, it bends their bones. You shouldn't put them back together on Shabbos. Ve'ein machzir is hashever. Oh, this is Dr. Mark Berkson. We don't even have to go to the end of the Amud to see that you can't put back, as the Gemara is going to explain, this is the vertebrae. So one pops out, it's not a sakana. Obviously, if it's a sakana, you can do whatever you need to do. It's not a sakana, wait until after Shabbos. If you dislocated your finger, your hand, your foot, oh, I'm looking forward to getting back to basketball. I haven't played in months, in 3 months. And the first day back, always, that's when you dislocate your fingers, you dislocate your whole, you know what I'm talking about. You can't, and what do? You put it in water. You shouldn't put it in cold water. You can wash yourself. If on Shabbos you happen to heal yourself by mistake, then it's okay. Says the Gemara, there's two things in the Mishnah. You have the water from a cave, and you have Meitveria, the hot springs of Tveria. That's where Rashi got the idea that they're hot and it's enclosed. Haroichetz, but from the word haroichetz, the Eved in l'chatchila, it seems like you shouldn't be doing it. We're talking after the fact that he washed himself, he bathed himself in hot water that he heated up before Shabbos. Then, what do you do with the towel? Miklal, you see from here, we just turned to Kuf Mem Zayin Amud Beis, sponsored by Shia Greenfeld from Green Star, electrical contracting, the Shtatim Go Gufoy, Afil Chatchilo Shapir Domi. You're allowed to take a good shower. Shower's okay. You're not allowed to bathe yourself in a bath. Mani Reb Shimon he. This goes according to Reb Shimon. Everybody agrees that you're not allowed to go into a bath that's heated before Shabbos. The Machlokes is a shower. Divrei Meir holds you're not allowed to take a shower even if it's cold on Shabbos. Reb Shimon matter. Why does Reb Shimon say it's okay? Because that's not the derech. Who in the right mind takes a shower? Rabbi Yehuda says a hot shower is also tzoyin mutter. I believe, I didn't look it up, I believe cold is okay. Today people are machmir a little bit, but I think we go with Rabbi Yehuda, although I don't see the halacha in his camp over here. So forget what I said. Don't be samech on anything I say. Says the Gemara, what we already know. Reisha Rebusa Kamashmalon. This is a chiddush in the beginning of the Mishnah. V'sefer Rebusa Kamashmalon. Reisha Rebusa Kamashmalon. What's the chiddush in the beginning? These towels that don't have any water in them, even the chadu, since he's an individual, he might forget and he'll squeeze. V'sefer Rebusa Kamashmalon. And what do you see from the sefer? A towel that's a lot of water in there. 10 people just used it. Even the Rabbi Meninu Matkriya Dodi. There's once in the mikvah. And a guy didn't have a towel, and he asked the guy, he says, can I borrow your towel after you use it? And the guy told him, a Chassidish guy, he says, no, before I use it. It's a schus for me to give it to you before I use it. I'm standing there, wow. He's going to let the other guy use it, and it's a schus for me, and then I'm going to use it. So Rashi says it all over there. Since there's many people, you won't come to Chilul Shabbos of squeezing. They had like these little windowsills or little shelves. So I finished with my towel and I put it on the shelf. I'll come back after Shabbos and grab my towel. Nobody's going to steal it from there. You cannot give it to the bathhouse attendant, the guy in charge, the gabbai over there. Because they're chashud. So I look in Rashi. Rashi says, schita. We're concerned they'll do schita. I was disappointed because oisidavar usually means like they call a chazer, a pig, oisidavar. Or when you're talking about znus, oisidavar. So I couldn't believe it. Schita. So why doesn't the Gemara say schita? I look in Rabbeinu Chananel. He actually says, yeah, we're concerned. There's like crazy people running around the mikvah. Who takes a job like that in the mikvah? A pervert. And he says it's a problem. Shechavzera on the towel. Says the Gemara, Reb Shimon says it's okay. Oh, so you're asking yourself, how come today you see these guys walking from the mikveh with the towel on the shoulder? If you live in Eretz Yisrael, you see this all the time. It says in the Mishnah you can't. So you have Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon says it's not a problem. Even an individual could bring it back home. Omalei Abai Rav Yosef. Hilchos Hamai. Abai asks his Rebbe, Rav Yosef, what's the halacha? Omalei Ha Reb Shimon, Ha Rebbe, Ha Shmuel, Ha Rabbi Yochanan. They all say it's mutter. So what are you asking me questions? Reb Shimon, Hadamor, we just said a second ago that it's mutter according to Reb Shimon. Rebbe, what's Rebbe? The sign, Rebbe Kishanin Lamedim Torah, it's Reb Shimon, Biskaya. When we used to learn Torah by Reb Shimon in the place called Koya, oh, I forgot to I actually have one of the pictures, but okay, you know that we already had it. You're allowed to go from a rooftop to Chatzir to Karfaf. Basically, you don't want to take the Rosh Hashanah route, which is very problematic. Obviously, it's usher to carry Rosh Hashanah. So you go through the backyards from one, you hop from the roof to the backyard to this to that. Fine. So Taisus kind of talks about Nukuda. Maybe we're all going together. It was a whole shear of guys, and we're going to the mikvah, whatever we're doing to the bathhouse on Shabbos, and that's why it's okay. It's okay to what do you call it? To carry a towel. 10 people, one towel is okay. Says Taisus, no, because it was Reb Shimon who's the Rebbe. And you're not allowed to go to the mikvah. You're not allowed to bathe in front of your Rebbe. It's not covered for the Rebbe. So maybe he had one person with him, says Taisus. Okay, that's still a good raya that you're allowed to bring a towel. Otherwise, we'd have a problem. He obviously had many talmidim, and they're all going together. So that's why it's not a problem. They're all going to remind each other, and that's why Taisus says this interesting chiddush. Not a chiddush. I mean, that's the halacha. You can't go to the mikvah with the father, with the Rebbe, etc. Shmuel, the Omar, and what does Shmuel say? That's mutter. The Omar Rav Yehuda, Omar Shmuel. Mistapik adam baluntis. You could use a towel, and you could bring it to your house. We're not worried. We're not concerned about squeezing it out. Rabbi Yochanan, Omar Rabbi Chia Barabba, Rabbi Yochanan, Halacha. Mistapik adam baluntis u'meviotech biyodeh techbeisai. B'kitzur, they all say the same thing. It's all mutter. Ask the Gemara, mi Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Hachi. Again, in this Masechta we had it. Halacha Mishnah, same kind of question. Rabbi Yochanan is famous for saying that halacha is always like the anonymous Mishnah, and now our Mishnah is anonymous, so obviously passes like our Mishnah. Usnan, it says in our Mishnah, even if he used one individual, used 10 different towels, you're not allowed to carry it. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan didn't have an anonymous Mishnah. Who? It was anonymous. It has a name at the end. He had a name. These bathhouse attendants could bring towels for women. But they have to wear it. They have to trick. They have to pretend they're wearing it. They can't just carry it in their hands. So they put it on, cover themselves with it, walk to the Beis HaMerches. You have this long towel here. This picture right over here. So basically, you tie, like a lot of people do today, they tie their talis, they make like a temporary knot on, let's say, Simchas Torah, they do it. You know, they don't want their talis to fall off, so they go like this. That's what it says here. If you're going to walk like that, you have to make sure it's very light, it's a lightweight thing, it can blow off in the wind. It should be below his shoulders. He tells his city people, when the goyim come in with their armies, and unfortunately we have to take care of them, and on Shabbos they demand their clothing, so better than carrying boxes full of clothing through Rosh Hashanah, which you're allowed to anyway, because if not they'll kill you, but there's a better way. Just wear the clothing, put it on, and then bring it to them. Put it on, tie it like this, and then you're good to go. Sachin, now, how do you anoint yourself and give yourself a massage on Shabbos? It has to be with a shinui. So what's the shinui? You give yourself a little tummy rub on Shabbos. You have to do it differently. What does that mean? First you put the oil on, says Rashi, it seems like that the way it was then, first they would rub, they would give themselves a nice massage, probably loosen up the skin a little bit, get the blood flowing, then put the oil on, and then it would absorb better, I guess. No. Since Rabbi Yochanan holds that in the weekday, sometimes they put the oil on first, sometimes they give massage first, it's unknown. Different people do different things. So the only way to get out of this and do a shinu is it has to be together. You pour the oil and do it together. Avaloi misamlin, loy misamlin, or achir barabba or Rabbi Yochanan. Also lamoid bekarki also shel the yoim sas. You're not allowed to stand on the bedrock, the bottom of this place, this river, the Myoisas, which Rashi says is salty. Mipnei shema meles umirapo. It heats up the body. The salt will heat up the body, and it heals. Oh, healing is a problem in Shabbos. Zera shchika samamonim. You might come to grind herbs. By the way, it only has healing powers for 21 days a year. And the Chag HaShavuos is part of the 21 days. Is the end of the 21 days Shavuos. In other words, it either starts, when it says Shavuos, it's not smack in the middle. So either the first day of the 21 days of healing starts in Shavuos, and that's what the Gemara is telling us it starts, or it's the last day. Says the Gemara, Tashma Domer Shmuel, Kulu Shak Yoneh. We had this, it's the Gemara earlier, probably like a good month ago, that these drinks that are healing drinks, Midivcha v'atzarto ma'alu. So they work from Pesach to Shavuos. So too, this water is going to heal you from Pesach to Shavuos. So in other words, Shavuos is the last day. Says the Gemara, what's the raya? The more that it's cooled off and the world is cold, it's better. So in other words, before Pesach, before it gets really hot after Shavuos. So use it then. It's like a good geshmak of Coke. It has to be cold. But over here, havlahu, it's the heat of the water that warms up the body, and that's what heals. So I need more heat. More heat is after Shavuos. Says the Gemara, Chamra, this is amazing Gemara. We know about the lost tribes. 10 lost tribes. What happened to them? Why? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why they got lost. Chamra, and this is a good lesson to us. We could all learn something from this. We could just read the Gemara and go weiter, or we could mafnem. We could, how do you say mafnem in English? In something. Chamra de fregisa umayo de dioimasas. The beautiful, the great wine from Fregisa, the top wine from France. Umayo de dioimasas. These great rivers. Kipchu aseres hashvatim Yisrael. When Klal Yisrael was so involved in Gashmias, they needed the best wines and the cigars and their cars and the this and the bathhouse and sitting around in the Schwitz. That's what destroyed them. That's why we lost 10 tribes. Unbelievable. Rebbe Elazar ben Aroch, Ikla Lahasam. Who's Rebbe Elazar ben Aroch? He's in Pirkei Avos. He's one of the 5 Talmidim in Pirkei Avos of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. The greatest one. Imshich Basrayu. What happened? They had to move, and everybody went to Yavna, and he stayed over there, and he said, I'm the greatest one, they're going to come to me. They never showed up. But he's Rebbe Elazar ben Aroch. He's Mayan Gaber. It's interesting. Mayan Gaber. He fell by the Mayon. The Mayon is what got him. Imshich Basrayu. He got involved with the Mayon. He went into the salty waters, Geschmack baths, and drank the wine. Akir Talmudei. He forgot his learning. I just saw a beautiful, and I have a sefer about Rabbi Yashiv. And somebody asked Rabbi Yashiv once when he was in a great mood, and he said, how do you remember everything? Why do you have such a great mind? And he says, anybody can remember, but it's ritzifus. As soon as you take your mind off Torah, you forget. So if you could go straight without watching movies, without this, then you don't forget Torah. That's what he didn't say movies. I was just saying, if you have that ritzifus, you don't think about shtusim and that, and that's what it says over here. As soon as Rebbe Elazar ben Aroch started drinking the wine and the water, he forgot his learning. He showed up. So when the Chashav Rebbe Elazar ben Aroch shows up, what do? You give him an aliyah. Yamoy, the Rav Agoin, he gets up. So he was the Balkaira. You know, in those days, you got aliyah, you read. He's supposed to say, "HaChodesh hazeh lochem." This is the first month. Omar, "HaCheresh haya libam." Was their heart deaf, mute, silent? Kitzer, he made a chayzik. They realized something's wrong here. This is the big Rebbe Elazar ben Arach. So they had to daven for him. And then he remembered everything. You should always, no matter what, go to where the Torah is. And don't wait for it to come to you. Rashi says a very interesting thing here, that when you learn Torah with other people, even if they're learning another Masechta, you're going to overhear them. And you're learning your Masechta, and you're going to remember the other Masechta because of the people next to you. Why is his name called Rebbe Neroi? He illuminated the eyes of the Talmid Chachamim in Halacha. He cannot use this tool on Shabbos. Terrible stuff. His feet are full of mud. Okay, I could deal with that. Ubetzaya and waste. You're not doing it for refuah. You just need to survive. So of course you could scrape it off. Rav Shmuel bar Yehuda Avdol imei megarar to the chaspa. This actually I found one that's made out of real silver. His mother made him a special one for Shabbos. We got to go weiter because Mark Berkson sponsored today's daf. Ein yodem likurdima, my taimo mishum pika. You're not allowed to go into this place kurdima because you'll slip. And the Rabbeinu Chanal says here it's quicksand. And if you slip, according to Rashi, you're going to do schita. You're not allowed to induce vomit with some sort of medicine. But if you stick your finger in your throat, mutter. It's also to do it all year long. It's baltashchis. To swaddle a baby on Shabbos, shapir dami. But it says in the Mishnah, you're not allowed to straighten out a baby's bones. When you're talking about the vertebrae, the Mexican boina, you are building on Shabbos. That's also. If it's a sakana, of course you can. But if it's not a sakana, so everybody go to Dr. Mark Berkson to get your boina, to get your bones straight. It's very good, he says. I forgot what the lashon was. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, 9:30 still. We'll see you, Be'ez Hashem. Have a great Shabbos. Achdus, Rabbi, say Achdus. Make that phone call. Make sure with somebody. A good Shabbos. Shalom Aleichem, Mama Kim Kol Sicha Adonai. Adonai, Shema B'Karei Tino Zdach Kashu V'ez L'Koy Tachanu Loi. Yema Adonai Zishmoi Loi. Adonai Loi. Mchas Lichom. Yemanti V'Rei. Yidan Negzon Avshi V'Rei. Adonai B'Shamun L'Boike Shamun L'Boike. Chaz Yisrael Adonai Gavin Chaz Yisrael Chaz Yisrael Kol Avosov. Amen. Shkoyach. Reb Nachshon Mendel, where are you from, Reb Nachshon?
Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. Baltimore. I think I asked you that, no?
Yes, last week.
Last week already. But you know, the beard grew since then. Because of Spheros. I didn't recognize you. That's what it is. Last time also you're in the dark. That's right. You don't want to wake the Olam up over there. I got it. Baltimore. Don't forget, go to one of those siyumim in Baltimore. Go to Fishel.
They're trying to find you. We share Fishel. No one knows you. They say you told me that they'll know you, but they don't.
They know him.
Tell the guy who used to deliver their meat from Market Mayor. I'll go to them.
Official, make sure you get a good meal for Nachshon. Thank you. Aaron Shields, very impressive. How do you remember that, Rebbe Kiva?
I don't know. This was just here about 2 weeks ago.
He went for Hokanah.
Don't forget that Aaron Shields' brother came in second place for Tanakh Holami. These guys are memory is one of they're all geniuses. That whole family. What?
I didn't get the Esser Shnotim. Why we lost what you wanted us to get from it? I didn't understand what you were saying.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm saying that we're so involved in Gashmias. We drink wine, we do all this stuff, and then we wonder how come Mashiach's not here. Saying we lost the what do? They indulged in Gashmias. That's what they did. That's what I'm saying. It's not Simon. The reason why you didn't understand what I'm talking about is because you're here in Eretz Yisrael. I was talking more to the New Yorkers, those bar parkers. Eli, don't put your head down. Don't worry about it. Gashmias. They have so. What are you saying?
Go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead.
Any quick question? Is the Beit Medrash open at the moment? I'm going to be Shabbos from the Shemesh. Is the Shia open in the?
The doors will be open.
Sorry?
Yeshua said the doors will be open on Motzei Shabbos. That's what he said.
Are there some people there who follow the Shia?
I think usually Levi Friedman is all by himself, and today I had Dr. Allen from Toronto, and I mean.
Dr. Factor comes every once in a while.
Okay, so please God, I might be there next Shabbos.